Well, hello again and welcome to Roland's Reviews. I came on a little bit earlier than anticipated. Uh, so, hey, why not? Okay. At least I told you I was coming on. I was anticipating later, and who knows? If you want me to, I may come back on a little bit later. All right. So, I didn't have quite as many things to do today. Do me one small favor, if you will, hit the like button as you enter the chat room, and hopefully we can trigger the YouTube logarithm. And again, I don't know why um, the channel is not showing. I've had a lot of people telling me that they don't know I'm live. So as I tell people, how you doing, Caesar? Thank you. Uh, Nothing that I'm doing on my end. Just so you know, I don't know what's going on. And hey, that's it is what it is, right? Yeah. So hit that little thumb. Uh, One way you can help me, you can share this video out and bring more people in. One way we can beat the logarithm is to bring as many people in as possible, and that way they're unable to stop us. We would be an unstoppable force. Okay, so I'll let a few more people join in the chat. If you are familiar with this subject matter, please let me know. All right. And I was just thinking, we have been saying this forever. All of these Democratic shills that were crashing out, doing everything that their Democratic taskmasters told them to do. Um, we said that this would happen, and now someone just sent me something on Facebook to let me know now Jasmine Crockett is under investigation. So uh, we know what's going to happen. No one will be there to support them. So you're kind of on your own, right? Let's go ahead and do the roll call. All right, the Arena Uncensored is here. How are you? Rob Cat Meow. How you doing? Rhonda's here. Tina's here. Chris is here, and Caesar is checking in. Again, I did tell folks that I would probably go live about 6 or 7. I came on earlier because I didn't have quite as much to do, and so again, I may still come back on later. We'll see. But do me one small favor: hit the thumb and share this on. If you have Facebook, great. Share it on Facebook. If you have Instagram, Truth Social, hey, share it on all of your platforms. It would definitely be appreciated. Okay. Um, and it's free, it doesn't cost you anything. Trust me. All right. So here we go. All right. Paste. Okay. There we go. All right. Tell me what your thoughts are on this subject matter. Leticia James, Big Tish, reaps what she sows after leveling laughable case at Trump. So again, all of these people who were following orders and uh, doing what they were told to do, look, now they're under investigation, right? So you have to be careful. The old people used to tell me, if you dig a ditch for me, you better dig two. And that's just where we are with that. Tina, turnabouts, fair play with these Democrats. Yes. So again, folks, what a turn of events. I know people sometimes just say, well, I was just taking orders, doing what I was told. But when you're left out there by yourself to defend yourself, and we know no one's coming to her aid or to support her. They have you out here crashing out, doing all these things, and then when you're under investigation, they are gone. How you doing, Mayor? So let's go ahead and read this article. Mayor, share this out on your social media pages, please, dear. Thank you so much. All right. So look at this. The Arena Uncensored, first truth bomb. Big Tish claimed her dad as her husband. Isn't that a crime? Yeah, so she was doing everything she was told to do. And one thing about that, you better not be doing something wrong yourself. You know, in today's age of the internet, you are quickly exposed. Okay, so that's just where we are with that, folks. So I'm going to read this, and I have a video to share with you as well. The Trump administration referred New York AG Leticia James for prosecution over alleged mortgage fraud. And this is from Monday, all right? Oh my goodness. The Trump administration's criminal referral targeting New York Attorney General Leticia James for reported mortgage fraud likely never would have unfolded if not for the Democrats' years of targeting the president in court, a New York City real estate attorney and expert told Fox Digital News. So you see this right here, folks? Let me highlight that. This probably never would have happened, right? The Arena Uncensored said, you've got to be clean before you go after Trump. That's a truth bomb, folks. If your stuff is, as some comedian used to say, raggedy as a roach, you need to go somewhere and sit down. Because he has the money to find any dirt that you may be involved in. So she should have shut her mouth. Even when he became president, she kept on and on and on. Caesar, like the Temptation song, living in a glass house, don't throw stones. Right. Woof. I'll continue. To be perfectly frank, this is a retaliatory case brought by the president for what the attorney general did to him over the last several years. New York City attorney Pierre Debus, partner and founding member of real estate law firm Romer Debus, told Fox News Digital in a Zoom interview Thursday morning. Both cases, quite honestly, are very weak cases. The Attorney General's case that was brought against Donald Trump was honestly a pure manipulation of the legal system, and it was laughable, he continued, referring to the civil fraud case she brought against Trump. And we know she was just following her orders, they were trying their best to bring him down, right? Something that's never taken place in the history of New York, that was isolated at one particular person for a politically driven purpose. And we know it was political. We know that. Now, on the flip side, this serves the same purpose, right? This is the president's way of seeking retaliation against the attorney general for something that in reality is, while it's considered mortgage fraud, it's not criminal, he continued. And it's not something that would have been brought up had the attorney general not pursued a similar case with low merit against the president a few years back. So again, now, when you're involved in wrongdoing and you know it, once Trump was reelected, I would not have had that man's name in my mouth, knowing everything that had happened, everything that had transpired. There is no way I would have been saying anything about him. But she continued. Tina, Fonnie Willis, Stacey Abrams. Yes, Tina. All of these people doing what the Democrats told them to do. They're not going to stand up for these people. They're on their own. Tell me what your comments are, folks. I'm going to try to keep up with them as I read some more of this. And then I have a video to share with you, too. The Federal Housing Finance Agency, an independent federal agency that oversees Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and the Federal Home Loan Bank System, sent a criminal referral to the Department of Justice Monday, arguing that the Attorney General appeared to have falsified, let me highlight this, mortgage records to obtain more favorable loans. I'll continue. At the heart of the case is a Norfolk, Virginia home James purchased in 2023, which she identified on mortgage documents and a Fannie Mae Freddie Mac form as a property that would serve as her primary residence, according to the FHFA letter dated Monday. James is legally required to live in New York as a statewide elected official in the Empire State, the letter adds. Wow. Can you believe this, folks? Oh my goodness. As a real estate attorney, we represent every major lending institution in the country, he said. And a common underwriting requirement for banks is to solidify what the use of the property is going to be, meaning, is it a primary residence, second home, or investment property? So, folks, tell me what your thoughts are with everything that I've read. How you doing, John? Joining me too. I had to take my Allegra earlier because I was outside working. And the reason the banks do that, clearly there's a higher rate of default when it comes to investment properties and second homes as opposed to primary residences. Wow. The reason being is people don't want to leave their homes, he said. Now, a second home investment property, you may be a little more inclined to throw the keys to the bank. The bank then requires the borrower to sign an affidavit confirming that the home being acquired will be used as a primary residence, he explained. Now, if that's not the intent or that is in fact inaccurate and you sign that agreement, you are in fact committing mortgage fraud, he said. And the bank relies on that agreement in giving you the loan. Now, would they have given you a loan if it were a second home, potentially? But the difference is the interest rate would be significantly higher. So we know she did this to get a better rate. We know that, right? The bank's recourse when discovering such mortgage fraud related to misidentifying a property as a primary residence to obtain more favorable loan terms is simply to call the loan, he said. And those of you, type in the comment section, how many of you have purchased a home? And I remember signing this. They always ask, is this going to be your primary residence? Particularly, we know with the housing crash and the subprime loans that was going on, what, 2007, 8-ish, somewhere in there, went on for a couple of years. So we know then they changed some rules around, and they want to be sure, is this your primary residence? Is this going to be investment? So yeah. They would call the loan, force you to pay it off by a certain date, he said. If you're unable to sell the property or take other liquidity that you have to pay off the loan, they have the right to pursue a foreclosure action. They'd be legally granted this right. It would be very difficult to contest under those circumstances because technically speaking, this is a default and this is fraud. Hit the like button for me, folks. Please share this stream out to your various forms of social media. The New York real estate attorney added, this type of fraud is common. Okay. Well, again, if your papers aren't in order, so to speak, you shouldn't be going after someone else, especially in today's age of the internet. It's very easy for people to find out where you live, particularly when you're purchasing property. All of that's online. All people have to do is search tax records, right? What extent is it fraud? To be quite honest with you, this is a very common thing that does take place in the real estate market. That I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying Leticia James. The full extent of the law shouldn't be applied to her, but it is something that takes place because if the loan is current, the bank hasn't really suffered any detriment, but it's still mortgage fraud. So that doesn't take away the fraud component to this. Devils argued this type of fraud does not rise to the level of criminal activity because the bank can call the loan, take back the property, or force it to be liquidated. Okay, so again, hit the like button and share this out for me, folks. James told the New York Times that a separate loan application for the 2023 Norfolk, Virginia home purchase reportedly indicated she would not live at the property full time and that her mortgage agreement did not require her to occupy the property as her primary residence. Okay. James is a longtime political foe of Trump's, who's campaigned for the attorney general job in 2018 by vowing to aggressively pursue legal charges against Trump if elected, adding she'd expose the con man after her win that year. Okay, so who's conning now, folks? I'm just saying. I'm asking for a friend. Who's conning now? How you doing, Topeka? Her office leveled nearly. Listen, look at this. Let me highlight this for you. 100 legal challenges against the first Trump administration, and added after his second presidential win in 2024 that she would continue challenging him in the courts to defend the rights of New Yorkers and the rule of law. And again, crashing out for the Democrats. I'm great, Isaiah. How you doing, love? Oh my God. Most notably, James pursued a civil fraud case against Trump and the Trump Organization for inflating the values of properties to obtain, look at this, folks. Oh my God. More favorable loans, insurance coverage, and tax deductions, which resulted in a $454 million judgment in 2024. So again, how ironic. Oh my God. Tina, her primary home cannot be in Virginia and be attorney general in New York. Thank you, Tina. Thank you. Thank you. So we know people, it's semantics, right? People know when they're doing wrong. They know. And so that they're not in the black and white. They're in that little gray area of the twilight zone, right? Exactly. Give all American people a home. Okay, Topeka. Her primary home. How are you doing? Chris said she'll probably get a slap on the wrist. Fridge Reaver, how you doing? I sadly have to reboot ASAP as I only saw you on by manually checking notifications. You okay? Thank you so much, Fridge. Hit the like button, dear. Oh wow. This is something, folks. A spokesperson for James' office told Fox Digital Thursday that multiple times during the Attorney General's trial against President Trump and the Trump Organization for years of financial fraud, President Trump's attorneys repeatedly made the argument that the Attorney General's lawsuit was politically motivated. We all know that. They weaponized the Department of Justice, and it was all political. We know that. Wow. Every single time the judge rejected that argument and even sanctioned the attorneys for making it, the spokesperson added, Attorney General James won her lawsuit, and the judgment against President Trump now exceeds $500 million. Fox News contributor Jonathan Turley noted the irony of Trump's criminal referral over allegations of James fudging numbers to obtain more favorable loans after pursuing Trump. Basically, he's saying something similar. Basically, the same thing. Oh my God. What are your thoughts? Let's talk about this in the comment section. Caesar said, looks like Biden left all of his black shields blowing in the wind. Caesar, that's what old Jim Crow Joe does. Oh my God. John Joyner, same with Fannie Willis, Nathan Wade, Alvin Bragg. They're fit. John, all of the black Democratic shields that were used to try and bring down Trump. Look at all of them. They've been destroyed. Oh my God, all of them. And those of you just joining the chat, I just received a message before I came on live that said that now they're investigating Jasmine Crockett. So, the governor of Virginia should send her a welcome wagon package for living in 2 states. Okay, William, how you doing, love? Just give Joe a cone of ice cream. Okay, Arena. Sounds good to me. So this is crazy, folks. This is a person who prosecuted Trump for everything short of ripping a label off a mattress. And among the charges that were brought in New York, not just the civil, but the criminal case was making false or misleading statements to financial institutions, the legal scholar said on Fox News. So she basically, like we said, she did the same thing. The Ingraham Angle Tuesday, Said on the Fox News, the Ingraham angle. As for James, if we apply the Leticia James standards that she created, there'd be little question here. This seems pretty straightforward. Oh my God. You can't make this stuff up, folks. You cannot. Type in your thoughts in the comment section, folks. Wow. The administration is looking into the allegations put forth by the FHFA while underscoring that no one is above the law. White House spokesman Harrison Fields said on Newsmax Wednesday, with the Democratic Party. Now, let me highlight this. This is what we just said. They love to throw stones in glass homes when they realize that they're committing the crimes that they're actually trying to go against. This is what we've been saying. So this is now a criminal referral that the Department of Justice under Attorney General Pam Bondi will have to look at, he added. The allegations from the FHFA are very serious. We're going to look at them, and no one is above the law. And Tish James, she'd like to say that about the president, but she should look in the mirror and realize that if you have skeletons in your closet about abusing the law and doing illegal things, maybe you shouldn't be purveying around like some justice queen, because you're not. And this is what we were saying. I'm telling you, once Trump was reelected, I would not have said a word about Trump, knowing everything that's transpired, not just during, well, going back to his first presidency, and then of course Jim Crow was elected. Everything she did then, oh no. Right, Tina? Those are her words. She said no one's above the law. Does that also include her? Caesar, she's definitely guilty. However, nothing ever happens to high-ranking criminals. Caesar, yeah, regular people like you and me, if we do these things, we don't get a second chance, right? They just, they throw the book at us. Mayor, she campaigned. She did. That was like her number one goal. Her number one goal should have been to, make sure that she was doing what her constituents wanted, the people who actually voted for her. But she sure did. She campaigned on getting Trump. That was her whole campaign. The Arena Uncensored, she thinks Kamala will save her. What a joke. She doesn't, the Curry Queen doesn't need her for anything. She's not going to do anything for her. No one is. You're out there on your own. Again, Alvin Bragg, Leticia James, Fonnie Willis, all of these people, Jasmine Crockett, all of these people, they're on their own. The criminal referral also cited past reported issues with James's properties. Listen to this, folks, including a 2001 purchase of a Brooklyn property. The certificate of occupancy lists the property as a 5-unit residence, while James's mortgage lists the property as 4 units. Devos explained that 5-unit properties identified as commercial properties, which would require a commercial loan that has higher interest rate. Are you listening, folks? Than a residential loan. However, the banks carry the burden of confirming whether a building is commercial or residential. So all these things she had claimed he was doing, she's doing it. John, Leticia James was not the Attorney General of New York because her primary resident was Virginia. Okay, John, yeah, so that she's disqualified. Right. But she's in that gray area. Right, John. Right, John. John has some valid points there. Very good, John. You're absolutely right. If the borrower has the ability to tell the bank or convince the bank that it's actually for units, that it's actually 4 units, it's to their financial benefit, he said. Now, when you look at a certificate of occupancy is issued by the Department of Buildings, which tells you the legal use of the building. Wow. This is a 5-family dwelling, he said. Now, this is unequivocally a commercial property. The burden was on the bank so they're trying to put the blame back on the bank. How you doing, Jesse? To confirm this, but if the borrower did in fact have concrete knowledge, an argument can be made that mortgage fraud did take place in the application of this law. So you see how she's always right over here on the precipice, right? She's in that little gray area. Jesse, how you doing? Tina said Democrats dished it out. Now let's see if they can take it. Tina, I don't think so. Devas added that before the 2008 market crash, there were a lot of shadiness in the world of mortgages. Yeah, we know when the market crashed, the subprime loans. Oh my God, it was a mess. Oh wow. While reflecting specifically on the Virginia home alleged mortgage fraud, he added, now how would this impact her seating as Attorney General of the state of New York? At the end of the day, that's going to be determined largely based on how many enemies she's created. But from a purely mortgage standpoint, it's clearly mortgage fraud. But in my opinion, it does not warrant any criminal activity. So again, you can see she's always involved in that. She's always over there in that gray area. Hit the like button for me, folks. Thank you. A spokesperson for James' office said Wednesday morning she's been focused every single day on protecting New Yorkers, especially as this administration weaponizes the federal government against the rule of law and the Constitution. You can't make this up. Someone type in the comment section, for the past 4 years, who has weaponized the Department of Justice as well as the IRS? Come on, type it in the comment section. It seems I have forgotten. Says she will not be intimidated by bullies no matter who they are. Oh my God. Woo! You can't make this stuff up. So everything they accused him of doing. Oh my God. This is hilarious. They're all under investigation. Look at Eric Adams. He jumped shipped. William, I don't know. William, were you here when I said that in several videos? I said that. He read the room. He read the tea leaves. He read Eric Adams read the writing on the wall. And he said, I'm out of here. And that's the smart thing to do unless you just want to be under investigation and possibly go to jail. John said the old saying, when you swing at king, you better not miss. Well, they swung and they missed. And so now, again, hey, the Democrats are going to leave them hanging out there. Caesar, the residents of New York should be demanding her resignation. However, most of them are too blinded by wokeness. Caesar, that's a very valid point. Excellent point. I just think it's ironic. The irony is earth-shattering. And you know, folks, what's that? One of my favorite songs by Fleetwood Mac is Silver Spring. And there's a line in that song. And so this that particular line for Leticia James. And if you know the song Silver Spring by Fleetwood Mac, there's a line that goes, I'll follow you down till the sound of my voice will haunt you. You'll never get away from the sound. Okay, so anyway, oh my God. Tell me what your thoughts are, folks. Yeah. And I have a video to share with you as well. I was like, I can't believe it. I told you what I would have done, folks. Heck, I probably would have done what Eric Adams did. Be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. Facts. Tina said, dirty Democrats. Okay. I think I got, if I missed your comment, type it again, folks. All right. Let's listen to this little video here. And everyone's like, oh, Trump is targeting James. How many years did she target him? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's what the old people used to say. So let's listen up.
Going after New York Attorney General Leticia James. She sued Trump over real estate fraud, and now the feds say she may have falsified mortgage documents.
All right, we got two very, very crazy political stories that both involve fraud. First, Attorney General Leticia James is accused of mortgage fraud because she listed her father as her husband on the mortgage application.
James reportedly also listed her father as her husband on mortgage applications.
And to show you how bad it is, here is the mortgage application. And then on the other side of the political spectrum, we got Tulsi Gabbard, who is being alleged to have voted illegally in Hawaii when she actually lives in Texas.
In the 2024 general election, months before Gabbard cast her ballot in her home state of Hawaii, Gabbard and her husband declared under oath that their residency in Texas, after buying a home in the Lone Star State and claiming a homestead tax break.
And if the voter has more than one home, there is a presumption that the property that gets the tax exemption is the person's residence. Now remember, Gabbard designated her Texas home as a family homestead months before the general election.
All right, so let's go over the fraud allegations for Tulsi Gabbard and Leticia James. Now, first things first, these are allegations and not facts, so treat them as such. Now, this is Leticia James. She's the Attorney General of the state of New York. Here is her victory speech after obtaining a judgment against the Trump Organization.
Donald Trump engaged in deceptive business practices and tremendous fraud. Donald Trump falsely, knowingly inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself, his family, and to cheat the system. Donald Trump may have authored the art of the deal, but he perfected the art of the steal.
Okay, what are your thoughts on? Oh my God. How did she fix her lips to use those words, knowing she was doing the same thing? James steps right into this one with her big mouth. Yes. Oh, Jackie Boy pushed all of these, what is it? John Joyner, black activists out front to take the fall. Where's Jack Smith? These shills, these Democratic, yeah. And now they're left, hey, on their own. That's crazy. All right, here we go.
This long-running fraud was intentional, egregious, illegal. We showed the staggering extent of his fraud and exactly how Donald Trump and the other defendants deceived banks, insurance companies, and other financial institutions for their own personal gain.
Now, the irony of this situation is going to smack you in the face because the AG here, it's alleged that she essentially has done the same thing that she was holding Trump accountable for.
You can't make this up. What? Hey, folks, listen. You know you've done the same thing, but you're going, tooth and nail against someone else. Oh, it's like they're the worst person ever born, but you're doing the same thing. What the heck? Make it make sense. I'll continue.
Mortgage fraud. Now, for those of you with very, very, very short memories, Leticia James had complained that the Trump Organization had lied on mortgage and loan applications to get favorable rates, and those lies caused the state to lose money, and that's how she got her initial judgment. Now, all the while, people like Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, he was saying that this is something that people do all the time in New York real estate, and that this was selective prosecution.
You've been doing real estate for decades. Does this case strike you as odd?
Well, let's leave out Trump for a minute and let's leave out politics and just talk about what happens in real estate development anywhere. So if you're a developer and you've got a building on a block anywhere in America and it's worth, let's say, $500 million and you want to build a building right beside it, you go to the bank and say, this building is worth $500 million. I'd like to borrow a construction finance loan against this asset. And I want you to tell me it's worth $500 million too. And the bank negotiates with you and says, well, no, we think it's worth $400 million. And you fight it out. You're always trying to show your assets in the brightest light with the sunshine you could possibly determine for them. You want them to be worth the very most because you're only going to get a 40 or 50% loan to value, as it's called. Then you borrow that money. In the case of a $500 million asset, maybe you get $250 million and you build a new building with a construction finance loan. And so that's what this case is all about. And by the way, forget about Trump. Every single real estate developer everywhere on earth does this. They always talk about their asset being worth a lot, and the bank says no. And that's just the way it is. But it's humorous in the sense that you have to sue every single real estate developer here in Miami, in Chicago, in Los Angeles, in Detroit, in Dallas. This is what they do every day. This is what the real estate game is all about. It's getting construction financing against stabilized assets.
So as you hear, businesses generally cut corners to get the best possible loan terms. And this is done every day. And you know who else is doing it? Leticia James. So the U.S. Federal Housing Administration authored this letter, which is a criminal referral to the Department of Justice, alleging that Leticia James has committed essentially mortgage fraud. Now, the first allegation goes back to 1983. Leticia James and her father purchased this home in Brooklyn, New York. Here's a picture of the Attorney General recently walking out of that home. And here is the mortgage application from 1983. And as you can see, it says right here, Robert James and Leticia James, his wife. But when you go down to the next page of the mortgage application, which is Exhibit G, it also says Robert James and Leticia James, his wife. So the Trump team says this is evidence of mortgage fraud. Now, before we get into the rest of the allegations,
tell me what your thoughts are, folks. Yeah, so she's a mess. Did she think that they weren't going to search and find this information? You cannot keep anything hidden. Not in this. How you doing, Laurie? In the world of internet and Google, you can't hide anything, folks. Like, did she think they weren't going to check? Right, Tina? I'll continue.
Here's a quick word from our sponsor, Ethos. A couple of years ago.
So what are your thoughts, folks? Oh, my goodness. Especially after everything that she had done. You think they're just going to say, oh, well. John said she underestimated her opponent. Okay, John, that's a good point. I don't know why she would underestimate Trump. But, okay. How you doing, U.S. Army retired? Thank you for your service, sir. Oh, my God. Tell us what your thoughts are. Those of you who've been here for a while, you know, we said this was going to happen. It's happened to Fani and Alvin Bragg. I'm sure he's coming up next. Jasmine Crockett. All of the Shields are in trouble. They've all been exposed. Okay. Wow. Just wow. So tell me what you thought. U.S. Army, let me know if you were aware of this. I know you're just joining us. We started about 3:00. Okay. Beverly, let me know. Here we go.
Administration that points to another piece of information that seems to be fraudulent.
It's also raised about James's Brooklyn home. 2001 city records show it was a 5-family dwelling, which experts say would require a commercial property loan with perhaps higher interest rates. But James allegedly listed it as a 4-family unit. The James spokesperson would not say if any units have since been combined, as a property of 4 can be backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, often qualifying for better interest rates and a lower down payment.
But now the Trump administration wasn't finished. They found more allegations of fraud. See, Leticia James is the Attorney General of the state of New York. And to have that job, you must live in the state of New York. Your primary residency must be in the state of New York. But the Trump administration says it has documents to show that Leticia James claimed that her permanent residency was actually in Virginia.
This Norfolk, Virginia home is co-owned by Attorney General Leticia James. That, according to records that appear to show, she may have claimed that house as her principal residence. The Federal Housing Finance Agency director, who previously was a Trump fundraiser, sent a criminal referral to the Justice Department calling for a mortgage fraud investigation into James, alleging she appears to have falsified records to receive favorable loan terms. Sam Antar, an accountant by training and past convicted felon, first raised questions about James's property-related records.
If she did actually use it as a primary residence, she'd be disqualified automatically as the Attorney General. If she didn't actually use it as a primary residence, she would be committing mortgage fraud. So take one or the other.
Late this afternoon, James's office said the co-owner, her niece, used the Virginia home as her primary residence.
So, as you just heard, the question is going to be, did she live in New York or was her primary residence in Virginia? Now, if her primary residence is Virginia and she got the tax exemption, then that means that she couldn't be state AG because you have to live in New York to be state AG.
Right.
Well, your primary residence has to be in New York if you're state AG. So, do you think Tish James committed mortgage fraud after that big speech about fraud and Trump wanting favorable loan terms? It seems like she was doing the same thing like Kevin O'Leary said. But if you're on the left, this is the nightmare scenario for you. But if you're on the right, this is a great thing to show that, hey, her chickens have come home to roost. But now we're going to flip it because Tulsi Gabbard has essentially the same problem.
All right, so we're going to stop there because we're focusing on Big Tish, because that's who we've been talking about for a while. Lose her job. Okay, Tina. How you doing, Darnell? U.S. Army retired. So she is a fraud. It looks like she's going to lose her job and maybe go to jail as well. Too bad, so sad. Now, it would U.S. Army, you've been here for a while, and we've been talking about that. You know, I was saying, hey, you know, especially, you know, once Trump was reelected, you need to go and make amends. So say what you want about Eric Adams. He read the writing on the wall and he said, no, he stopped listening to the Democrats. I mean, he was reluctant, but you see his charges were dropped. So that's, you know, it is what it is, folks. Hit the like button for me, please. And tell me what your thoughts are about this. Everyone that the Democrats used to try and, you know, ruin or destroy Trump, they are all under investigation. William, Leticia James left her home in Norfolk, Virginia with New York on her mind. The home broke down in Birmingham. Okay, William. Oh my God. Wow. Just wow. The house of cards is falling. And what a tangled web she's weaved, right? And how you doing, Monique? Yeah, she wouldn't stop. And again, you knew what you had done, but you kept talking about what he's doing or what he has allegedly done. But you've done the same thing. Now you're going to have that same passion. Oh, what I did was egregious. All those big words she was using to describe what Trump was doing, but you were doing the same thing, lady. Come on. Oh my God. What's that song by Nancy Sinatra? These boots are made for walking. These boots are made for walking. That's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Hey, as I tell my students, leave people alone. Oh my God. Woo. You couldn't imagine everyone who they used to try and bring down Trump. Look at how their lives are in shambles now. How you doing, Darla? Glad you're here, love. And folks, some of you are new here. People like Darla. I don't think Darla's been here for a long time. I've said this in several videos. We knew this was coming. Everyone that has been used to try and prosecute Trump, all of those charges. Look at all of these people. Look at where their lives are today. They need to run away from the Democrats. They're the ones who have you in this position. You listen to the wrong people, and they're not going to do anything to help you. U.S. Army, we talked a little bit about this on the Arena Uncensored a couple of days ago. I want to see handcuffs and charges. Whoa, U.S. Army, we'll see now. We're talking about high-ranking people now. If it were me or you, probably handcuffs and charges. We'll see what happens. Monique, I learned the term clean hands a long time ago from Judge Judy. Yes, it is, Tina. Need to make sure she doesn't have access to a white Bronco. We can't have another Bronco chase. Oh my God. I was in college with the last one. I remember that. William said, is she mowing her grass in Virginia today? William, she needs to be trying to get her paperwork together and trying to cut a deal. Because as we see, her mortgage fraud goes all the way back to the 80s. So you've been doing this for a while, lady, and she's perfected it, but now she's been exposed. That's why I say, folks, just leave people alone, because if you've done something wrong, especially in today's age, folks, with the internet, you try and destroy someone and you have skeletons in your closet, guess what's going to happen, folks? You're going to be exposed eventually, especially, when you're purchasing homes, property, that is public knowledge. Anyone can go online. You type their name in, all the property that they own, everything. Public knowledge. William, Strom Thurmond got free rent. Okay, William. All right. I told Mr. Blackson she should have checked her closet before she went after U.S. Army. That's what I'm saying. When you know you've done wrong, again, the paperwork we just looked at in this video went back to the 80s. You've been committing fraud, lady, but you're going after him like he's the worst person that's ever been born. And again, we all do wrong. That's every single one of us. But U.S. Army retired, if I'm coming after you, oh my God, you're the worst person ever born. U.S. Army, say, you cheat on your taxes, and I'm up here and I'm doing the same thing, but I'm just, hounding you like you're the worst person in the world, and I'm doing the same thing. Make it make sense. And we've been saying on this channel, all of these people who were going after him, now is your opportunity, right, to try and correct the wrongs from the past. She was just, bullheaded and stubborn. No, just full steam ahead. No, I'm not changing. Okay. We'll see. You should probably try to cut a deal, But that's how it goes, folks. Progressives haven't made or had common sense for the last 15 years. Oh, Caesar, good point. She probably thought those documents for the 80s were long gone. Again, Caesar, you're right. But with the internet, OMG, it's hard to get away. It is. But she probably, thinking, okay, that was in the 80s. No, someone, hey, you see, we just looked at it. It's still around. Someone had those documents, took pictures and shared them. They're out. They're on the internet now. So Tina, no, but she was just doing what she was told. William said her own closet is chasing her skeleton. Right. But she was so adamantly against Trump going after him. Did she not think that she was going to be exposed? I'm just saying, folks. And this is what I say, even at the school. Not everyone is, doing the right thing, right? But I say everyone's doing something they shouldn't be doing. And I say this, to some of the younger teachers, do the best you can, whatever, but try to follow the rules. No one's perfect. We know that. Monique, yeah, shout out to the truck driver. I agree, Monique. But she, like I said, she had plenty of time. She could have backed down after he was reelected. She refused. Just prideful, I guess. And now those chickens have come home to roost, and now she has to deal with the ramifications. Tina said she would have never been found out had she not opened her big mouth and went after Trump. Right, Tina? I'm with you. And we were on this show saying she needs to stop. Just like we recently, one of the videos we did on Jasmine Crockett, stop talking, stop poking the bear. She keeps talking about Trump. He wasn't thinking about her. Now, I don't know what type of investigation, but remember that there's an older couple that said that they donated $16,000. Well, $16,000 was debited from their checking account, sent to Jasmine Crockett, and they don't know Jasmine Crockett. They don't even know she is. She thought the Democrats had her covered. Oops. They don't have anyone covered. They never do. They just put you out here to act like a fool and to do their bidding for them and to push their agenda. But when you get in trouble, do you want me to put Homer up again? Fading away into the hedges. That's what they do. They don't have your back. You are on your own, ma'am and sirs. Okay. All right. That's basically what I wanted to share with you. I may come on a little bit later as well. Let me see. If I do, it'll be around 7. Let me see. I was a junior in high school back in 83. Wow, Trump's team. Yes, Caesar. He's a billionaire. If he wants to find out any information, he can. So I guess someone said earlier, Caesar, you said that she probably thought those documents were gone. A billionaire can find them. They have the money to do it. Yes. So that's just where we are with that. And I may go live a little bit later. All right. But I just wanted to jump on with that since we had talked about it extensively. And let me see where we are. Tell me what your thoughts are, folks. All of these people are crumbling right before our eyes. And oh well, we called it. Every last one of them. Tube Steak Johnson, them googly eyes though. How you doing, Tube Steak? Hit the like button for us as well as the subscribe button if you are enjoying this content. Yep. Caesar, Leticia James isn't a pretty lady, but she looks good for 66 years old. Okay, Caesar. Tube Steak. Okay, Tube Steak. We're glad you're here. Yeah, she's 66 years old, and with these new allegations and possible prosecution, she's going to start to age a little bit. Woo, how you doing, MC? MC, have you noticed Biden did not even pardon any of these black people who helped out the Democrats, and I don't hear them calling racism to Biden. Thank you. Hello. Say it again for the people in the back, please. I've said that. How many times have I said that? That's okay, Tijuana. I'm earlier than I normally am on Saturdays, dear. You're fine. MC, I said that a few videos ago. What was that? Miss Mayor Mosley from Baltimore. She, as well as her representatives, begged and begged and begged for a pardon from Biden. Do you think that she received it? No, she did not. They use you and then they throw you away, and you have to figure it out yourself. So, MC, you're absolutely right. Darla, and people ask me how I feel about my vote. I say giddy with happiness. Darla. Yeah, it is unreal. You know, this is about going back to the 80s. Tijuana, Zayden is still too busy calling people colored. Yeah, Tijuana. Oh my God, he's still sniffing people's hair. Thank you for the super chat. I just sent you some hearts in the comment section, love. Thank you so much. Like I said, Tijuana, I'm a little bit earlier than usual, so you're fine. But Tijuana, in a nutshell, you and I think MC just joined the chat. Everything she accused Trump of doing, she has done, pretty much, allegedly. Biden still isn't speaking up for any of them. Why aren't the pro-blacks holding them accountable? Caesar, the black shields are not going to say anything. Now, if they were Republicans, they would be like, oh my God, you see, they're so racist. They won't come and defend these people. But now the shields are quiet. They don't want their checks to stop. They're not coming to help her. She's on her own, just like the rest of them. Tube Steak, I'm waiting for a super mayor, Tiff, to throw her weave in the game. Good luck with that. Oh my God. Hit that like button, folks. Hit that subscribe button if you are enjoying this content. And that's just where we are, folks. I just think it's so ironic. It's eerie how, if you look at everything that she was charging Trump with, and now if you look at everything that she is alleged to have done, and it's the same thing. That is eerie. They call them Dems projectocrats. Okay, Monique. All right. So there we are. I may go live again, maybe 6 or 7, something like that. You can, folks, if you're not busy, you can check. And I'm off. I have a spring break all next week, so I'll probably be going live a few days next week as well. So please come on back. U.S. Army retired. Paperwork is usually destroyed after a while, but back in the 80s, companies started copying them to CD. She probably thought it was destroyed. Yeah, U.S. Army, that's what Caesar was saying. She probably thought, okay, that was in the 80s. Okay, that's gone. No, someone found it. Trump had someone dug deep. Woo, so she's been doing, thank you, Tuesday. She's been doing this forever. I mean, that since the 80s, lady, come on. So again, since she started doing it in the 80s and she didn't get a pop on the wrist, nothing happened. She perfected it. And that's why she's continued to do it. It makes sense. She was never called on it. So she kept doing it. Yeah, everything is on CD or microfiche, something. It's never gone totally. Never, ever. All right. Tell me what your thoughts are, folks. That's pretty much what I wanted to share with you in reference to this subject matter, because we have been talking about it for a while. OMG. So share this content. Tube Steak, share this if you have Facebook, Instagram, Truth Social. Share this out for me, please. And let's see if we can bring some more people to the channel. We're still growing. We're trying anyway. And we're going to continue our exposure. Oh, yes, Mayor, have a happy Easter to you as well. Where are we? Isaiah. Isaiah, so we're going to see. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the charges, dear. Hit the like button for me, please. I'm actually shocked those documents are still around. Caesar, I know from the 80s, that is shocking. That is very shocking. And you know, if we're shocked, I wonder how she feels. She's probably thinking, where the heck did they get those papers? Trump had someone digging deep and they found them. So, hey, I would not let this be a lesson to anyone. I think John Joyner said it earlier. If you're going after Trump, you better make sure everything with you better have everything lined up. Hopefully, you know, if you've been involved in something nefarious, don't waste your time because he will find it. All right. Laurie, to everyone. Yeah, I hope everyone, I'll be live tomorrow. I hope everyone has a nice Easter. And I'll probably, it's 4:00. I may come on later, folks. Just check 7:30, 8 o'clock. I may come on. U.S. Army retire for Big Tish. You playing the violin? You playing the violin for Big Tish? Yes, Tina. Thank you for dropping in. Hit the like button for me, folks. We're gonna go. I may come on later and talk to you about Caesar. Yeah, we'll see what happens. She's been doing it for so long. She may cut a deal. Who knows? I have a video to share with you on Fish Fry Clyburn and what he has done lately. So I may do that video later. Okay. But I definitely had to share. I had to come on and share this with you because I was like, we have been talking about this. And you may be right, Caesar, but we'll see. So I'll come on later and we can talk about what's going on with Fish Fry Clyburn. And enjoy the rest of your day. Like I said, if I come on, it'll be about 7:30-ish, something like that. All right. Thank you for spending your valuable time here. And I enjoyed your insight on this subject matter. And we're just still watching the dominoes fall. And sorry, not sorry, but sometimes you have to smarten up. And self-preservation is the first rule of thumb. Protect yourself, not the Democratic Party, because they're definitely not going to protect you. I love you. I'll see you at 6 o'clock, Miss Lynn, or maybe even 8. I'll check in. Thank you, Isaiah. Yeah, I'll come on probably later, 7:30, 8, something like that. I want to go do a little yard work. I need to go water all my flowers outside. So thank you. You know where I'm going next. I'm going to the comment section, and I will talk to you there as long as you are there. And don't forget to drop by the channel later this evening. I will be live again. Thank you again for spending your very valuable time with the Roland's Reviews YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the comment section now.